Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and we're going to talk about pacing a narrative and what we can learn from Liv Schreiber's and Nicole Kidman's The Perfect Couple, brand new 6-episode murder mystery, beach read brought to life, television show, or actually streamed show, that just was dropped. It's all contained. You get a nice, it's just like, Knives Out or Knives Out Glass Onion, right? A nice contained murder mystery all in one lump sum, right? And it takes place on Nantucket, and it is a spectacular example of how to successfully, how to properly, how to wisely craft a narrative and pace a narrative. This is a phenomenally written story, and mystery is really a big part of Dungeons and Dragons, and we do a lot to keep mystery, lined in with as part of our Dungeons and Dragons campaigns. So if you're a dungeon master, if you're a dragon master, this is for you. It's every dungeon master, every dragon master content. Let's talk about it. Okay, so spoilers for The Perfect Couple here, all the way, major spoilers for The Perfect Couple here. So before I begin, 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely love this. I want more in this world. I want more written about this family, and this is really fantastic. All right. So what is the story? The story is Merritt, the girlfriend, Tag, the husband, super rich husband of Greer. And Greer and Tag are the perfect couple. They're this Nantucket-based, hyper-rich, hyper Nantucket, uber white, just super, super white. By the way, this thing is more white than a J. Crew catalog, right? It's just super Caucasian. The story is super, super Caucasian, right? And it's showing the lives of Caucasian people, right? And it's interesting, they get, at this point, we have arrived. We have major representation for LGBTQ in Hollywood, major representation for people of color in Hollywood, and it's okay to tell Caucasian stories now without guilt because, they get representation too. And this is a hugely Caucasian story, right? All right, very, very white, right? So Greer and Tag, Greer is the super rich wife, Tag is the super rich husband. Greer has been cheating on, Tag, the husband, has been cheating on the wife for many years, and he is habitually unfaithful, right? Now, he feels like he has coverage, and he has the go-ahead to continue this, and the reason why is Greer wants Greer wants to project this perfect couple image, and she's willing to bear with his lies in order to do this. And that's what she wants. She wants to be considered a perfect wife. She wants to be considered to have a perfect family. And she wants anything that needs to happen to craft that lie and maintain that lie to continue, right? So Tag gets his girlfriend Merritt pregnant, okay? Now this gets big because these guys are hyper rich, $500 million to $1 billion to $1.5 billion, hundreds of millions of dollars, right? Big, big, big money, right? So, and actually, from what I've heard, anybody who lives in Nantucket, you got to have minimum 8 figures. So that would be 10 million, right? 10 million minimum, right? And most of these people are rolling with hundreds of millions, if not some significant portion of $1 billion, right? Or even half of $1 billion, or $1 billion, or $1.5 billion. This is big, big money, right? So at this point, Merritt has gotten involved with Tag, and there are 3 brothers, okay? And these 3 brothers, one of them is already married with a pregnant wife. He's cheating on the wife. One of them is about to get married, and his girlfriend doesn't like him. She's in love with Shooter Duvall. And then finally, there's this poor young guy. He's 16, maybe 15, and he's dating the sheriff's daughter, but doing it poorly and is extremely bad at, wooing women, right? Like, or, to a girl, getting a girlfriend. He's handling it really poorly, right? And so there's all these problems. And here's the problem with Merritt. She has just created a new heir, right? And all of these guys have these trust funds. And when the youngest son is 17, right? So when he turns 18, all of their trust funds unlock, right? And they get access to all this money, right? Even though the husband and the husband and wife are alive, this is the way they set it up, right? So when Merritt becomes pregnant, now there's a new Winberry. By the way, this whole family is called the Winberries. So if she brings this baby to term, that will reset the terms of the trust funds, and those trust funds won't go out until that youngest child, who is connected, who is technically a Winburn, but kind of a sideways Winburn, will be it'll push out getting their money by 18 years, right? So at this point, then the rest of the show is who killed Merritt, and Merritt washes up on the shore dead, right? And was it Greer because she was furious that Tag cheated on her again? Was it Tag because Greer was getting so upset that she might divorce him? Was it the older son who's gambled away all his money and has been cheating on his wife and now is almost broke and cannot get any money of his own? Was it him and he had to do this because he needed the money, right? And then, so all this is going through till the 6th episode. So in the 6th episode, I've been really enjoying the show, and I'm like, oh, wait, there's a problem, right? So there's this sheriff, and there's this like FBI agent, and they're doing everything they can to figure out, who's the murderer, right? And I'm watching this thing, and I'm like, wait a second, man, we got a problem. Like, I've been watching this for a while now, and I don't see a murderer anywhere close. This is getting, really like, so I'm halfway through the last episode, and I'm like, oh man, this is going to end, and I'm not going to know who the murderer is, and they're going to go, wait until The Perfect Couple Part 2 coming in a month. And I'm like, oh man, are you kidding me? I watched this whole thing and I didn't get an answer, right? Well, I got an answer. They literally showed the murder in the last 10 minutes of the show, right? Last 10 minutes of the show, we finally see the murderer. And the murderer is the oldest brother's pregnant wife. She actually drowned Merritt so that she wouldn't have to wait another 18 years to get their money, right? And she had sent her husband to do this job, and he didn't. He, just like he screws up everything, he screwed this up again and was not able to complete the task, right? And so basically she she actually like said, hey, why don't we go for a swim together? And then she had drugged her with a barbiturate to slow her down. And then when they got in the water, that pregnant woman just drowned her in the shallows and then let her body wash up on the shore but what shocked me was the timing of this. I was positive they were not going to wrap this mystery, right? But the timing was spectacular. It literally kept me guessing until the last 10 minutes of the show. And this is how you do it. This is how you do a mystery. You make sure that you have 4 or 5 good suspects. You make it so that the person who got murdered, there's a lot of people that want to murder them. And people can legitimately understand why people would be so upset that they would murder this person, right? Like you're like, oh yeah, I kind of get that, right? Right? Merritt was a pretty horrible person. And she really like took it to Greer and was like really hurting Greer, it was pretty wild. So with all that said, it was pretty major, and the timing on this was absolutely spectacular. If you're going to do a mystery, this is exactly the way to craft it. It was spectacularly done. This is how you pace a mystery in a Dungeons & Dragons campaign. This is how you set up your this is a perfect template, a perfect model, and even a perfect length, right, for a Dungeons & Dragons murder mystery. If you're going to do it right. This is the way to get it done. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. The most important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion. When you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.